Yo, what's going on? Shit, finally here. That was difficult. It was not easy to get here, man. I had some serious IT related issues, and for anyone that knows me, I bloody hate IT as it is anyway on the best. So I'm happy that's all resolved now, and I can get this stream going and can get back to talking about fighting, which is the whole reason why, which is the whole reason I'm here, which is the whole reason why I was doing this whole thing, man. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be live, and I suppose before I get into the live stream and start and hopefully some people start coming in and I can start talking to you guys about fighting. It's important for me to be able to give a shout out to Kina KTV. Kina KTV is a G. He had me on his podcast yesterday, and last evening, for about 3 hours straight. 3 hours straight, me and him was talking about fighting. Yo, Eric, what's going on, bro? Sorry it's a bit late, man. Some IT related issues, so I got caught up there. Drove me crazy, man. I bloody hate IT. Eric, I was just saying just now, before I get into the podcast and everything else, or call it podcast discussion with you guys, whatever it is, I was giving a shout out to Kina KTV. Kina KTV, if you don't know, he's a mixed martial arts YouTuber, but he's got a much larger platform. He's got like 15,000 subscribers, and I reached out to him on Instagram, just asking him for some general advice, and we got talking, and he invited me along onto his podcast, and I was there on his podcast speaking to him about fighting last night for about 3 hours straight. 3 hours straight we was talking about it. So I think he's just getting it edited now. It was up live, but I think he's getting it edited now so that it'll be on his channel. So that's going to be a good one, man. I was happy to be there, having the opportunity to speak about fighting in front of 15,000 people for 3 hours straight. That's obviously the main reason why I started this thing. So I was loving it, man. Any interaction with fight fans, it's what I'm always looking forward to, and it's what I'm always looking to get. So I enjoyed it, man. But yeah, man, let's get into the fights last night now. So last night, even before we get to last night, Sergey Kharitonov and Matt Mitrione, I'm bitterly disappointed at the way that fight turned out. I'm actually slightly pissed off within myself because damn, I felt like that fight had so much potential to be a great fight. I felt like Bradford lad, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. It was a bit delayed today because I had IT issues, but I managed to work it out. Yeah, man, that Matt Mitrione Sergey Kharitonov fight, it was upsetting. It was upsetting what happened there. That was a fight that I was really looking forward to. Sergey's a guy that I've thought a lot of for a very, very long time. I've been a big fan of Sergey Kharitonov going back to his Pride days. I was bitterly disappointed when he didn't make the move to UFC because of because of Dana White's issues with Golden Glory, and then it's been nice to see him kind of have a little bit of a resurgence lately. So I was a little bit pissed when everything there happened and he didn't get his opportunity. So on Friday night, the Matt Mitrione fight, I thought that was gonna be a sick fight. I was thinking a high level striking fight. That's what we're gonna see in the heavyweight division. I was expecting Sergey to come out and sleep Matt Mitrione. I was looking very much forward to it. Instead, Matt Mitrione comes out there and kicks his dick off. Not quite what I was anticipating, so that kind of sucks, man. But I'm just hoping that they reschedule that fight and we get to see the Matt Mitrione Sergey Kharitonov fight anyway. I would like to watch the Sergey Kharitonov Matt Mitrione fight. So here's to hoping that gets rescheduled for another event. And that brings us on to, yeah, his balls were straight in the stomach, man. The dude was probably throwing up when he went back. He looked like he was in pain. Stayed up last night for the last night, not realizing it was on tonight. I reckon a few people ended up staying up last night expecting to see the UFC last night, and only to realize that last night was a big Bellator card though. So I suppose you had that to look forward to, and but there's UFC on tonight. So let's quickly recap the Bellator card. Firstly, Eric Silva versus Yamislav Amosov, or Headspace. What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so Eric Silva's fight. Eric Silva, when he came out, when you think back to Eric Silva when he first debuted in the UFC, and there was all this hype behind Eric Silva, seeing what's become of him, he's what, 20-10 now. It's kind of heartbreaking. I remember once on MMA Fighting, there was a fan who wrote a fan post, and it was the MMA of tomorrow, and in MMA of tomorrow, this dude was talking about how he's predicting in the future that we're going to be seeing Rory McDonald fighting Eric Silva to crown the UFC welterweight champion of the world. And if you guys ain't checked out MMA Fighting, check out some of their fan posts. They've got some good fan posts there. Obviously, that's not how it's panned out. Rory's gone on to do some good things. He's Bellator welterweight champion. But for Eric Silva, boy, he turned that into a on his face bomb, didn't he? So that was sad. And then Amistov rode out that W all the way to 21-0 now. So he's obviously going to be looking at the bigger picture in the Bellator welterweight division now. And you got to think that he's got to be eyeballing someone like maybe even Lawrence Larkin. If the winner of Lawrence Larkin and Andrei Koreshkov, the winner of that fight versus Amosov, to crown a potential #1 contender for whoever wins the tournament, depending on the pacing of the tournament. I think that's a fun fight, and I think that provides us with a true #1 contender for whoever ends up winning the tournament. And on the back of that tournament, I'm predicting that Rory's gonna fit. What do you think of the Askren Lawler fight? That's a great fight. I'm really looking forward to the Askren Lawler fight. I'm really hoping that we can see a vintage Robbie Lawler performance, because as much as I like having Askren around in the UFC, I love Robbie Lawler. I've loved him for a long time, so I'm hoping he can get the W. But if I'm honest with you, when I'm thinking about that fight, the fight that keeps on playing out in my mind is Robbie Lawler versus Tim Kennedy. Now, if you guys haven't seen Robbie Lawler versus Tim Kennedy, he had a decisive advantage on the feet, but it seemed like Tim Kennedy was being able to take him down and control him and ride out the W. And I feel like we're going to be seeing the same thing here. And obviously, Robbie, coming off having not fought since he fought Rafael Dos Anjos in December 2017, had a few surgeries. He's a bit grey in the teeth. He's been around for a long time. His record's 28-12, so we're talking 40-41 pro fights, because I think he's got a no contest with Scott Smith in there as well. So Robbie Lawler's been around for a long time, guys, and you got to expect that at this stage we're not going to be seeing the best Robbie Lawler no more. So I'm expecting Ben Askren to ride him out for a decision. That's how I see that fight going, and it's going to be bittersweet for me, because I love having Ben Askren around. He gave us Marty from Nebraska, so shout out to him for that. I would like to see Ben Askren, Robbie get the W, but I think Ben Askren's going to get it, and it'll be bittersweet for me, because I'm going to be happy to see Ben Askren coming around. So also on the card, I'm going to skip the debut of the taekwondo, of the young lady who's a taekwondo gold medalist. But also on the card we had Vitaly Minakov versus Cheick Kongo. I felt like Vitaly Minakov should have got the W, but without going into the controversy of that, what a crazy run that Cheick Kongo finds himself on. So for some perspective, Cheick Kongo has got wins over Alessio Silva or something like that. Augusto Sakai, who's now 1-0 in the UFC, 13-1 overall. He beat Alexander Volkov, who's ranked top 10 in the UFC and was ranked top 5 not that long before that. He now has beaten Vitaly Minakov to revenge his last loss that he fought for the Bellator heavyweight title at 43 years old. He's got to be a clean-cut #1 contender. And I think Ryan Bader versus Cheick Kongo provides us with a fun fight of names. And I think Bellator shouldn't mind promoting that fight. That should be a fight that they should get behind. It's a fun fight. So for Ryan Bader, it's either going to be Cheick Kongo or Chael Sonnen at 205. Even though I don't personally feel like it should be Chael Sonnen at 205, that's probably going to be his two options, and it's going to be interesting to see what Bellator goes with. I'm hoping that it's Vadim Nemkov at 205. But if they're not going to give Vadim Nemkov the title shot at 205 and let him fight Cheick Kongo, because then at least he's fighting a legitimate title contender to the division. Bro, you train boxing, so what are your thoughts on